The Federal and SR Public Welfare Trust present the Pudukkottai Marathon 2025. This event is co-presented by Rupee Apex Group of Companies on Sunday, August 3.
Hello and welcome to the Federal. I'm Prasanna Mohanty. Today, Mr. Ajay Srivastava, founder of Global Trade Research Initiative, a known expert on trade, is with us to talk about India-UK free trade agreement. Both India and UK have described this deal as historic.
Historic, we started a process in 2022, 3 years back, and then we announced the conclusion of agreement of negotiations in May. And now it will take about 6 months to 1 year time to implement this because British Parliament takes that much time, too much time to implement it.
Is the claim of doubling trade in 5 years, is that very realistic kind of a goal?
When we are saying the implementation start will take more than a year, then I don't want to even hazard a guess about where the trade will be after 3-4 years. Just to give pointers to your listeners is that half the exports of India to UK, they already arrive at zero MFN tariffs. Even before the FTA, they are not charged any tariff by the UK. So those exports will not gain from this FTA.
You think lowering tariff rates by both the sides, will tariff alone increase exports substantially?
I agree with your observation that tariffs are an important part of any increase in exports of anything. But other things, quality matters, quality, scale, then timeliness, fashion, and all those things, they matter more, if not equal or less.
Why do you think UK has gained more from this FTA than India?
No, I don't say UK has gained more than India. I don't say that. If you look at the export side, if half of our exports they enter UK at zero tariff, and the other half they only will benefit from duty reduction. So UK, as you rightly said, they have agreed to cut tariffs on 99% of exports, but out of this 99%, half they already enter at zero tariffs. So about the 45% goods covered by textiles, apparels, etc. will gain from this. On the counter side, UK exports, 90% of UK exports pay some tariff in India. All those tariffs will be eliminated.
Are Indian exporters in a position to take advantage of this lowering of tariff?
Of course, our exports will increase. Exporters are in position to take advantage, and one demonstrator of this fact is that we are exporting large amount to the US. We have a bilateral trade of about $55 billion. India has a trade surplus of about $12 billion with the UK. And we export more of the goods, more of the services than UK does to us. And so we export goods of, say, about $15 billion, while UK exports about $9 billion. So $6 billion of deficit, surplus in goods. Similarly, about $6 billion of surplus in services. So India is already exporting to UK, and FTA will provide impetus to export more to the UK market.
Why Indian exports have been falling? Kindly elaborate a bit on that.
In absolute numbers, exports are not growing, but they're stable. They are not falling. Okay. So merchandise exports are wherever they were the last year, this year. And Indian export has been able to hold on its own in these difficult times. So exports are not falling. But if you look at the export basket, inside the export basket, some exports are falling and some are increasing. For example, we have been very weak in the major products like machinery or electronics. But now, fortunately, we are doing very good, especially in electronics after this smartphone PLI came. So exports are increasing. Electronics exports are about $40 billion. They used to be $2-3 billion 5 years back. So that's a great news. Similarly, machinery exports are increasing. Overall exports are static. Within the export basket, I agree with you. Some parts like labor-intensive goods, where we were very good earlier, now we need to focus on them more. But the newer areas, which are very important for world trade, we are doing outstandingly well. And these are electronics and machinery.
Tell us in detail why you are advocating or you advocated pause and reassessment in trade agreements.
So UK, when we do an FTA, what happens, for example, with UK FTA, both the sides, they cut their MFN tariffs. MFN tariffs are standard tariffs we charge on our normal imports. So both the sides, they agreed to cut the MFN. In the US trade deal, it's not happening. What is happening is that US has a concept called fast track trade authority. US cannot cut its MFN tariffs, which are being cut in other trade deals. So in any deal US is doing right now with any country, not only India, US will not be cutting its MFN tariffs. They are not authorized. Indian goods going to US will be paying this 26% over and above whatever is the normal MFN tariff. For example, tariff on shirt is suppose 10% in US. So 26 plus 10, 36% of the tariff on shirts going to US. Now this is not a normal trade deal. So there is no stability. So I say when there is no stability, then draw your red lines. Don't see what they're asking for. Draw your red lines and then offer things to US. Don't come under any pressure because you cannot please Mr. Trump. In the mindset, he's bullying all the countries and countries are getting bullied.
You also wrote about how lowering tariff uh, by Australia harm their automobile sectors. Now we are going to we have agreed to lower tariff for British cars, especially luxury cars and all. Australia kind of a situation may arise because of this and continued lowering of or say automobile for other US or other countries.
So with UK, we have changed the direction. We have signed 14 FTAs before UK, and we have not opened automobile in any of those FTAs. So for the first time, on a limited basis, we are allowing access to high-end automobiles for specified numbers in India and at reduced tariffs. So right now, danger doesn't seem to be big. But what happens is that tomorrow EU deal is coming. We will increase the cuts, duty cuts in EU deal. America will get the highest cuts in its deal. And when you give cuts to EU and America, then Japan and South Korean governments will come to India and they will say that we have invested billions of dollars in your country. Why not allow autos from South Korea and Japan? So in said 5 years time to 10 years time, we see substantial opening. UK FTA marks, I mean, it made a small 2 millimeter hole in the auto wall. That hole will get widened with all subsequent FTAs. In 5 to 10 years time, the hole will be very big.
Would you like to explain how it is going to harm MSME and other domestic companies?
So, normal trade, we follow the WTO rules, and but government, whatever governments procure, like central government, state governments, the army, public sectors, that procurement is so huge, it accounts for 15 to 20% of our GDP. Consider $4 trillion of GDP, 15%, $600 billion, big market. And we have not signed the WTO agreement on government procurement, which means we are not duty bound to allow access to foreign companies. And we thought we'll use this access for our own companies, promote Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Wherever our capability is not there, we'll float the international competitive bidding tenders. We invite foreign buyers. So it was purely everything.
So why India did it? Why India agreed to that?
So it's a big market, so we are having a lot of pressure from the foreign side to open. So we changed the course for the first time and made a 2 millimeter hole in this government broker market in our FTA with UAE. That 2 millimeter became 20 millimeter hole. This UK FTA, we allowed much more than we allowed with the UAE FTA. And this 20 millimeter will become 100 millimeter in FTA with EU or US. And soon in 5 years' time, this will lose most of the access, exclusive access reserved for our MSMEs or even big firms to foreign firms.
Is this a step towards dismantling the protectionism through tariff imposition and other measures?
So I don't know, but all I say is that if you feel that we need to dismantle protectionism, of course it should be a stated policy, and we should do it on the MFN basis. On for giving access to one country, what does it help? That means some other country who is a better supplier, he will not get access, but a country who is a high cost supplier get access. So if you want good for the sector, and if we have decided, I'm not arguing for it, but if we decide that we need to dismantle all the controls, then do it for everyone. Do it on the MFN basis. Don't do it for a one particular FTA partner.
But I mean, once you sign, this becomes a template for others to follow, also, isn't it?
So, as you rightly said, that this becomes a template for future FTAs. Our FTAs with Europe and America, they are almost there, almost at the final stages. And if we copy the template for auto, for government procurement, for patents, then we will be taking a new path for our country.
Where do you see India, US, FTA, or bilateral trade going?
Bilateral trade is doing
Will that
great.
help us, or we will concede far more ground on areas which are, like weapons, oil? Will that work to our disadvantage?
These are two aspects are there. Bilateral trade is doing good. Bilateral trade is about $190 billion. We have a surplus of $45 billion to the hard burden of Mr. Trump. And so bilateral trade is going good. We export diverse things, engineering products, gems and jewelry, medicines, everything to US in great values. Tariffs, right now, Mr. Trump deals, they are basically some other game is there. They know they cannot export those things to any country. So that's why they are forcing countries, you make buying commitment. It doesn't. When I suppose do a deal with UK, so I lower my tariff. Exporters, if they feel they are benefiting, they will take benefit. I don't force you buy my goods of $5 billion.
Yeah, precisely.
US is forcing because they don't have much option. They don't have many products. They are either into agriculture or very high-end products, semiconductors or Boeings. In normal industrial goods, they are simply nearly absent. So that's why US deal is very different. They are not FTA deal. They are basically pulling deals.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Srivastava. It was very enlightening talking to you, learning from you. And trade is something which is not easily understood. And but thanks to experts like you, things are much more clear to us and others. Thank you so much for joining the Federal.